Yeah, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. So, today I am coming with a topic which is called a router on stick. So, what is router on stick? Why we are using? We are going to discuss this part uh, in in this topic where I am using the packet tracer this time. Earlier I was using JNS, but I thought that JNS is has a lot of complication and using a lot of CPU processes. So I download the packet tracer and I am running this lab on the packet tracer. So sorry, my question is like I told that I mentioned something. What is router on stick? So router on stick is a terminology in the Cisco where sometime what happen, uh, you need to live some process, so you need to live some sites, you need to configure some network setting to provide the internet. But the problem is you have some limitations. Limitations means you don't have firewall, or either you have one router, you don't have L3 switches. But you know that there are a lot of pressure from the client side, we need to live these network setups. So what we need to do now? So this is a very basic concept with a router on the stick. So here see the lab now. In my lab I have used one router which is Cisco 2900 where I use one ISP router 2911, same router. I have used L3 switch, but I'm not configuring this switch as a L3. I'm configuring this switch as a L2 switch. So there is also a L2 switch which I connected with the my end user laptop. So how this end user is able to reach ISP and what configuration we are required. So we are going to discuss that topic in this video. So let me show you the first configuration. So so this is my first router, what I configure, which is my company router. I can show you show IP in brief. So show IP in brief will show the two IPs, which is one is 20.1 which is talking with my ISP router, and another one is I have created a sub interface which is my LAN. So let me show the configuration of my sub interface. So show run, when I'm doing show running, I have configured. So this is the configuration where towards the LAN I have created a sub interface where I did the encapsulation.1q and put the IP. Another side I have interface which I have configured point to point IP. If I will show my routing table, when I'm doing a show IP route, you see that I am learning route. I am learning route for 20.1 directly, which is my, I have put the default route toward my ISP. So basically what we are doing, I am going to use router as a gateway for all end user traffic. So if you see the configuration which I show you, I did then I have configured 30.1 the gateway for all LAN traffic. Oh, this is my another L3 switch which you have seen to a diagram where I mentioned the L3 switch. What I did here, I just created one VLAN. When I run the command, you will find the VLAN 10 I created, and when I run the show VLAN, I created show VLAN here. So here the VLAN 10 I created a switch. So by default, and the port which is connected with the router, and I'm checking the show CDP neighborship, I am able to see my ports are showing connected to the neighbor which is fastness 0/1. So what configuration I did, show fast. If I run the show interface, show run, this packet trace is not spotting, so let me run this command. So when you see my interface which is running command which is connected to my router, switch trunk encapsulation, because when you are going to create a router on stick, and in router you are going to create the sub interface, like I earlier showed you that the router, I created one sub interface which is point 10, which is encapsulation dot 10. So maybe tomorrow if you want to give new VLAN or new policies on the basis of the VLAN, so you need to create new sub interface in the router. Let me show you again. So this is encapsulation dot 1q. It means I have only one VLAN and I created. But tomorrow if you need one more VLAN, suppose I will create one more VLAN, then config t, then what I need to do, I need to, my interface is, what is my interface, 0/0 or 0/1, I say 0/1, interface fast 0/1 point. Suppose I created another, this is my interface fast, sorry, the interface is a wrong ID, let me check. Yeah, it is a interface, gig interface. So gig interface 0/1.30. So I created one more. I need to do encapsulation dot 1q dot 30, and I need to give different, like I will give 192.168.40.1 subnet mask is sim class I'm going to use. So if when I can see this configuration now, see now I have created another sub interface. So this is another VLAN tagging for end user, if suppose if you have new department. So basically your router is working as a stick. So let me check, okay, in the my router, let me check I am able to ping point to point, which is my second ISP 192.168.20.2 is my, okay, I am able to ping because when I see the routing I put the default route toward the my ISP. So see, this is a default route which I am able to ping. Now another thing, let me log into my switch. In the switch I need to check that I am able to ping my ISP next 192.168.20.2. yes, I am able to ping, because when I am checking the routing table, you can find the routing table here also. I am using this switch as a layer 2, but I just enable the IP routing command, but you don't need to configure that part. If you don't have this switch, you can directly connect to the here switch. So let me check from the other side. If from ISP I am able to ping my LAN, which is, so let me ping, I am going to ping 192.168.30.2. see, I am at, but where, see where the 30.2 is configured. 30.2 is configured on my this switch. So let me show you. When I run the command IP brief, I am able to see that IP is here. I have also given this IP to 30.3 also, to let me see if I am able to ping to my L2 switch. Let me, no, why not? Because there is some reach, because this subnet don't, this is a layer purely layer 2 switch, they don't have any IP. So guys, yeah, see that from my switch I am able to ping 20.2, which is my ISP router. If you see my ISP router interface IP, I can show you it. This is 192.168 and 20.1. this is my, I am able to ping the my ISP. So what is the main thing we note in the router on the stick? So router on the stick, basically, again I am asking, when you have limitation of interfaces and you need to run multiple process, so just for toward the ISP side you can use the any physical IP, that doesn't matter. Like if I will again show you the configuration, so this is the configuration which I created. So this is my ISP interface which is communicating point to point, but toward the LAN side I will create more and more sub interfaces to provide that. Suppose my VLAN 10 belong to HR, my VLAN 30 belong to finance. So we need to create more and more sub interface, and by default you don't need to put the reverse route, because these are sub interface, you are already getting the connected route. If you can see here, if I am checking the 30 dot something, it is showing me connected via this one. If I have configured the one sub interface of dot 30 and I have given the 40 dot, this overall learning with a connected interface. So you don't need to, so your router is purely work as switch, and router is doing the double task. So this is some tricks where you are stuck anywhere and you find that you don't have any L3 device instead of router, and you have layer 2 switch or you have hub. So you can configure this type of configuration in your router, and for the time being, for the temporary, you can provide the internet connectivity to your end user subscriber. But yeah, so need to understand this is basic logics where I in my personal career experience I use so many time when I have some limitation of devices for the time being. So that's it's from my side for this video. If you have any question, please post on the chat. I will try to explain my all the answer, and this is very important topic for the CCNA learners who need to understand how the network devices are working, what are basic criteria to configuration that you will get from this video. Please, it is a humble request, subscribe my video, so I like this video, and please comment me if I have did something wrong or something is not looking good. Please, your support I required. Thanks everyone. Thanks.